Welcome to Fox Talk, your bi weekly show where we talk about stuff. Our guest speaker today is a friend from Discord named Fletcher,
Well,
and today we'll be talking about socialization. So, as we all know, the way that we socialize now is completely different than like a decade ago or something. Because, like, as new technology is advancing, it keeps giving us new ways to socialize or is taking out old ones. Like, if you think about social media and all we have these days. So, let's think of some examples. Like there's Instagram, Snapchat. Oh, I don't like that one at all. And you got like Facebook, who's notorious as well for being problematic. Do you use any social media sites, Fletcher, besides Discord and things like that?
well, not really. Honestly, some I don't see the point for a lot of them, or if then just talking to friends. But if it works for them, it works.
It does get repetitive a lot of times.
Yeah, and yeah,
I know for a fact, like at my school, you see people like in the lunchroom. Everybody will be like sending each other things on Snapchat, or like even teachers will be getting involved in things like that. And it just like seems infectious almost at this rate.
yeah. I find that it has a place, but I don't really think that you should really maybe talk to people in real life more often if they're, right there. Or maybe just share your phone to watch a video or something if that's what you desire.
Yeah, that's the thing with technological advancements in socialization. People are no longer really compelled to just talk to each other in real life or like go to friends' houses, and that's one of the things that's really taken away. So if you think about your own real life friends, like how many real life friends have you had, or like how many do you still stay in contact with?
Well, honestly, um, maybe five or so. About I only talk to one or two a lot. I only visit one friend often. The others I talk on Discord a lot and at school, but school is out right now, so it's mostly just Discord at this point.
Yeah, and if you it though sometimes it does bring us apart by giving us a distraction, it does also bring us together by allowing us like an easier connection. Like if your friend lives kind of far away, you could just talk with them through your phone rather than like having to travel out there.
Yeah, that's one very good thing about it is that you can talk with almost anyone with an internet connection wherever they are without having to write a letter and waiting for it to arrive. And
Yeah, and you could even meet new people. That's how I met you.
yeah, most most of my friends are from the internet. Honestly, though, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. A lot of them are actually really good people, and I like talking.
Yeah, it's really helpful in that instance. Like if people aren't really good at making friends either, but there is always the risk of it like being a stranger that does it that is like hiding intentions from you or things like that. You know.
Yeah, I've had that happen to me a few times before. I'm pretty sure almost everyone that uses the internet often has. Although that does show up on the internet, it all real life too is just harder for some people, but it still happens.
Yeah, there's much less risk in real life, but it's just much more difficult because like your emotions are more at bay and you could like see everything that's going on. With text, you're hiding behind a screen, you have time to formulate your answers, and really you could just say anything, and even if things don't go well, there's like basically no repercussions, so you could just ditch it.
Um, One of the things I find is that a lot of people will not be the nicest to each other on the internet because it's anonymous. If this person gets upset, you can just move on. No one will yell at you really. So yeah, the consequences aren't usually as great on the internet, but still they can still happen if you're well known and someone leaks that to somewhere.
Even if you
So
even if you're not, like, you probably have gotten quite a bit of it that's not really warranted, right?
yeah,
It's just, I feel like also people take it to a much more extreme level, not just more frequently, but people will say things that like are even close to real, like I'm gonna murder your entire family, you know, but you know that they really have nothing on you, and they're just making empty threats.
yeah, that's one of the things about being relatively anonymous. It gives you more opportunity to threaten people and make them feel bad. It's although it can be scary
Yeah,
too because you don't know if this person is actually like serious and they're actually going to try to find you or something like that. Even though it's unlikely, it's still a bit scary if someone says, "Oh, I'm gonna kill you" or something because you made me angry.
and they may have actually gotten information from there because you don't actually know how much they know. Like the internet companies and all, they might have sold off your information or something. Like Facebook, there was a whole issue with that, and there's credit companies that can't really keep control of your information too much.
Yeah, that's the thing. A lot of people don't really. I find that a lot of people on the internet don't really take security seriously as much as they should.
Yeah. Apart from all that, though, how do you think that this new method, like consistently talking online, is better for the way we socialize with people, or if it's being more damaging? Which one do you think would, or which way do you think it tilts?
Honestly, I think it is much better than before because yeah, there's downsides, but you can still communicate with way more people way easier. And overall, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, there it is a huge benefit to be able to talk with people anytime, anywhere. Although the risks are still there, and I'm just thinking about like how the conversations go about, because when we talk with people online, it's not exactly the same as talking with a friend in real life. Or I mean, the closest we have like is a video call, or not a video, but like a voice call like we have now. But just texting, sometimes it might even get boring, and that relationship that you had with that person just might dwindle a little bit, or if they're busy, you know.
Yeah, though honestly, that can also happen in real life. I guess less likely.
And I think like the advent of like being able to share images and videos with people, that's kind of like a default thing that some people would do rather than just talking, because it's like, oh, I can share this with you. But if you were just sitting with a friend in real life, I don't think you would just be like showing them things on your phone. I mean, maybe occasionally, but that's not all you would do. But some people actually go to that length when they're doing it online.
Yeah, it's I think the main flaw, other than the other things, is you can't if your friend is really far away and you can only talk online. There's not really as much of a connection as in real life if you're doing something together. Even though it can still happen, it's just harder and maybe not as strong.
Yeah, and then just doing things together. Like you're kind of limited when you're just talking to each other. You can't like go out and play with a soccer ball or something, or just go to the park and take a walk.
Yeah, the closest thing really is maybe video chatting or playing a video game.
Yeah. I really miss the days where I could just like go over to a friend's house just willingly without having so many other things to distract me, because I don't always think it's the advent of social media that's distracting you. It's just other obligations that like the entire internet has been playing upon, like with school, the fact that they can assign you things over the internet and things like that. Well, how go ahead.
Yeah, I think we definitely have less and less time as you know things progress. Even though, well, it's a bit difficult because it used to be you had to work all day to just survive, but now you have more, but that free time is being filled up with more things that you have to do anyways.
Hmm. So how much do you think social media would be to blame for like the way that modern friendships are going down? Or not modern, like old time friendships.
Hmm. I mean, I'm not really sure. Although part of it could be that maybe you don't feel as compelled to go visit them as much, but because you have all these options on the internet and such. But I'm not sure if I'd blame it too much. Just it might be a combination of things, I guess.
And if it's not the social aspect, it's the other things that are on there. Like if you think about Reddit, I usually don't socialize with other people. I just look at things that they do or things that they've posted. But at the same time, like my best friend lives next door to me, and we have stopped seeing each other as much as we used to. Like we used to see each other all the time. But now it's sort of dwindling.
Yeah, I mean, um, although you have to think about it, is it really that much because you have options like this, or because as you grow up, you just get more and more busy and you don't have as much time? But social media and such doesn't take up as much time and it's easier, so you just do that more.
Yeah, so it's mainly the advent that we're more busy and we have less free time, but also in that free time we feel more compelled to do things that are easier for us to do.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm. And I just feel like there's not as much emotion in it, like when you're just talking with somebody on the phone. But like you can have genuinely fun moments, like when I was sitting with my friend doing the first podcast. That was pretty fun. I liked hanging out at his house for a while we were talking. And no,
yeah. What are you saying, son?
yeah, I wonder what we could do to try and get this, or to like try and maintain the old friendships that we've used to have, and still keep this new system of socialization going. Because both are beneficial in their own respects, but I don't feel like we could afford to lose either one.
Well, personally, I believe that that usually depends on person to person. Like, hmm, sometimes it's out of your control, even if you would like to, because you have to work and school and all that. But other times it's just getting people to actually want to if they're not used to doing things like that anymore. Like,
Yeah, maybe you could start doing things to get back into it. Like if you got if you're going like on a trip over the summer, maybe you can invite a friend to come with you, or like try and maximize your time with them. Like if you walk home with them from school or you ride the bus with them.
yeah, another thing that people could possibly do if they so felt the need was if they get bored. I'm not sure about other people, but when I get bored, I want to go visit my friend isn't usually my first thought. So maybe if people start, thinking of visiting more often, maybe they wouldn't be as bored.
Yeah, or just
Yeah,
or just like take what you're doing right now and say maybe I could do this with a friend.
yeah, things like that.
Hmm. But as social media also progresses, I feel like there also needs to be a sort of a cap on it, because it is nice that it gives us a lot of options, but while the negatives are still there, there's still a lot we can do to control them. Like in terms of data releases, it's just the big corporations that we need to like moderate to make sure that Or it would be better if like things like Facebook they had different servers, one nationally and then one for a local server, so that way you could express more private things in the local server because it's just people around your town.
Yeah, I think that would be very nice, but unfortunately, companies are companies. They want to maximize how much money they make while spending the least amount possible. So, unless a ton of people demanded that, they're probably not going to add it, or if they found a way to monetize it, maybe.
Hmm. Even then, I think their advertisements would be a lot more accurate there.
Maybe.
Then again,
Although,
you'd also have to rely on Facebook not to mess with that information that you just gave them.
yeah, my I think one of my biggest problems with social media is just the fact that they collect all that information on you, and if you're not really that tech savvy, you may not even realize how much they're just taking without you even knowing or asking, or
Yeah, how many people actually read the terms and conditions?
yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure literally everyone is guilty of just scrolling to the bottom and clicking accept just to move.
Yeah. If you have actually read through the terms and conditions on anything, you earn a gold star in the comments below.
I mean, I think I read once, so that's cool.
Then a gold star for you.
Anyways, although they do a lot of things like these, it's also partly on the person not to spread around their information that liberally and take measures to not, expose themselves to.
Yeah, to not take it too far. Like I think at maximum maybe a first name, but don't ever say anything about location, revealing last names, maybe like your workplace or things like that. Like I mean, you could still be sort of specific. Like I'll say I'm in the United States, but you shouldn't like say the state or the county, things like that, because it just narrows it down, and you never know what people are gonna do with that on the internet. And for the benefit that they would have that it would have given you by putting it on the information, but by putting it on the internet, really does not outweigh the negatives at all.
Yeah, people will do crazy things if over basically nothing, especially on the internet. So I've never really told anyone exactly where I live or my last name, not anyone over the internet now.
And I'd say that's a good way to be.
Although I do find it a bit strange how people's attitudes, people in real life, like I find most people are more likely to give out their last name in real life than on the internet to a stranger, even though it's even more risky in real life, kind of, because, they know you're around that area and such, they know what you look like.
I guess so, but then it's also like you're taking out all the motives that people would have. Like if you're just interacting with regular people, unless you like really really piss them off, I don't think they're gonna want to harm you. You know?
Yeah, but maybe I'm just paranoid, but you'd be surprised what people would do over basically nothing.
Yeah, and then what is it like? There's also just more of a need to share it, like when you're signing up for things like at your bank, or like if you're an artist and want to be recognized for your work, or like if you wrote a book, things like that, and you wanted to publish it, you need to people need to know your name for those kinds of things.
Yeah, although you could technically use a
Pseudonym,
pseudonym, what's it called?
yeah,
Yeah.
you could.
I mean, that might not be the best, but it's definitely an option if you wanted to remain private with your life.
Yeah, the only issue is with copyright because you need to find a way to prove that you are the owner of that pseudonym. Because like if for my own artwork and if I like started making comics, if I wanted to copyright my characters and prevent people from using things like that, then I'd have to either reveal my real name or like find a way to legally bind that pseudonym to myself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not really something I thought about, but it is true. Although I'm sure ways to do it that are still more private than just, writing your name down on it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that's just about enough footage for today. We've talked quite a bit about it and gave some suggestions. And
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, that's all we've got for this episode of Fox Talk. If you like the video, make sure to leave a like, potentially subscribe, and we'll see you in about 2 weeks. And lastly, Annie says, never be in a hurry, which has two meanings. One, budget your time correctly, and two, don't be that meathead in a truck driving 90 on the freeway just because you're too impatient not to swerve between cars.
Although, if you subscribe to my channel, maybe I could forgive you.
Yeah, I'll put his channel in the description as well. All right, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you later.